Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Chinatu Oji. We begin with the headlines. Google pledges 3 billion naira to boost Nigeria's AI talent and digital safety. Drug-Free World Africa unveiled first drug abuse education workbook, charges youth to take action. Nigeria elected into UN Maritime Agency Council returns after 14 years. NADF launches innovative insurance to boost climate-resilient farming. Zambia launches national strategy to protect children online, away from Africa. U.S. freezes asylum decisions after troop shooting. Trump announces migration suspension. And in business, Nigeria adopts T+2 settlement cycle to boost economy toward 1 trillion goal. In health, psychiatrists lament mental health neglect, urge urgent action. In sport, NBA Africa announces finalists for Rwanda triple-double accelerator. Now the news info. Google, through its charitable arm Google.org, has pledged 3 billion naira to Nigeria to advance artificial intelligence training and strengthen digital security. The announcement made at the Lagos press conference yesterday targets human development and cybersecurity, channeling funds through 5 local organizations: Faith Foundation, African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, African Technology Forum, Junior Achievement Africa, and the Cyber Cafe Foundation. The initiative focuses on 2 main areas: developing advanced AI talent and enhancing digital safety. Faith Foundation and the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences will integrate AI curricula into universities, while the African Technology Forum will run an innovation challenge to translate the learning into real-world solutions. On the digital safety front, Junior Achievement Africa will expand safe online practice program for youth, and the CyberSafe Foundation will strengthen cybersecurity in public institutions. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosunte Jani, said the partnership supports Nigeria's national AI strategy and its goal of creating 1 million digital jobs. Google's West Africa Director Lumide Balogun noted the investment will equip Nigerians with AI skills while ensuring a safe online environment. Moving on, Drug-Free World Africa has launched its first drug abuse education workbook leaflet titled Steering Dynamic Drug-Free Youth, marking a major step in the organization's campaign to empower young people with knowledge and tools to resist drug abuse. The event, themed From Awareness to Action, Together We Can End Drug Abuse, brought together advocates, community leaders, and young people committed to building a drug-free society. Senator Patrick Duboise, who served as a special guest of honor, commended the initiative and emphasized the importance of continuous awareness, education, and community involvement in combating the rising scourge of drug misuse among Nigerian youths. Founder and president of Drug-Free World Africa UK, Engineer Chinagorom Kari, outlined the vision behind the workbook, noting that it was designed to serve as an accessible, practical guide for young people, families, and schools. She stressed that education remains the strongest weapon in preventing drug abuse before it starts. Convener and country president of Drug-Free World Africa, Honorable Dr. Linda Okereke, I beg your pardon, urged participants to be intentional in their daily actions toward ending drug abuse. She highlighted the need for consistency, community support, and open conversations about substance use, noting that prevention is most effective when everyone takes responsibility. She encouraged youth to take the message beyond the event, applying the lessons from the workbook in their schools, homes, and communities. The unveiling of the leaflet marks the beginning of a wider outreach campaign across schools, communities, and youth groups as Drug-Free World Africa continues its mission to strengthen prevention efforts and promote healthier drug-free lifestyles. Moving on, Nigeria has secured a seat in Category C of the International Maritime Organization (IMO) Council for the 2026 biennium, marking its return to the global maritime decision-making table after a 14-year hiatus. The election took place during the IMO General Assembly in London. The IMO, a UN specialized agency, regulates international shipping with a focus on safety, security, and marine pollution prevention. Category C includes nations with special interest in maritime transport, and Nigeria joins 19 other countries in this group, reaffirming its emerging role as a strategic naval hub in Africa. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adegboyega Oyetola, who led Nigeria's delegation, described the election as a landmark endorsement of the country's maritime reforms, Gulf of Guinea security efforts, and President Bola Tinubu's vision for the blue economy. The campaign involved over a year of diplomatic engagement, strategic advocacy, and global coordination. The victory is expected to enhance Nigeria's influence in international maritime governance, strengthen partnerships and improve access to technical support, boost investor confidence and solidify the country's leadership in sustainable ocean management. Category C elected states include Bahamas, Belgium, Cyprus, Chile, Egypt, Finland, Indonesia, Jamaica, Malaysia, Malta, Mexico, Morocco, Nigeria, Peru, Philippines, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, and South Africa. Meanwhile, the National Agricultural Development Fund (NADF) has launched a new initiative to strengthen climate-smart farming in Nigeria through index-based insurance and blended finance, supporting the AGRA-backed project, building farmers' resilience through innovative insurance models and financial instruments. NADF Executive Secretary Mohammed Ibrahim said the program aims to protect smallholder farmers against climate risk, improve access to credits, and promote resilient agricultural practices across key crop value chains. The initiative will introduce index-based and pay-at-harvest insurance products for bonding or bundling them with agricultural loans and scaling credit-linked insurance for rice, soybean, and maize in priority states. It will also integrate climate-smart practices into NADF loan products, provide digital climate advisory services, and enhance the capacity of business development service providers to support farmers. Lido Assurance and Vendio Climate are partnering with NADF with Fatana Paul, Head of Agriculture Risk Solutions at Leadway, describing the collaboration as a strategic step to improve climate preparedness in agriculture. And in Zambia, a national strategy to safeguard young internet users has been introduced as digital adoption rises rapidly among the country's youth. The National Child Online Protection Strategy, covering 2025 to 2029, was launched on Monday, 24th November, with the government prioritizing safer and more responsible online access for minors. Backed by $1.8 million United States dollar budgets, the plan focuses on coordinated policy action, digital skills development, public awareness for families, and a structured partnership framework linking government, the private sector, and civil society. The move follows growing concerns about cyberbullying, misinformation, and online exploitation, and aligns with wider continental efforts, including the African Task Force on Child Online Protection, created by UNICEF and GSMA in October 2025. By adopting this strategy, Zambia joins countries such as Nigeria and Ghana that already operate national child cybersecurity policies. Authorities say rising youth connectivity makes preventive, educational, and regulatory measures urgent. Let's go on this break, then it continues when we return.
Nothing is easy. Nothing is free. If you want to be successful, you have to pay the price. Nothing is free. Nothing is easy. Easy means you have to think different. You have to do different. For example, early days in my company, when some ideas come to my desk, Jack, this is a great idea, and I look at everybody. Everybody say it is a good idea, I normally throw into the rubbish. Because everybody say it is good, then all the other people think of. If everybody say this is going to be very tough, I'm very interested in that tough question. And I pick up and say, how can we do in a different way? This is to be unique, to be different.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Idea TV News Updates, the rest of the stories. Away from Africa, the United States has paused all asylum decisions following the shooting of two National Guard members near the White House this week, which left one soldier dead and the other critically injured. The attack was allegedly carried out by an Afghan national, Ramanullah Lankawal, a former CIA-backed partner force member from Afghanistan who entered the U.S. through a resettlement program. President Donald Trump has escalated his anti-immigration stance, pledging to permanently pause migration from all third world countries and threatening to reverse millions of admissions granted under President Biden. The Department of Homeland Security listed 19 countries, including Afghanistan, Cuba, Haiti, Iran, and Myanmar, already under travel restrictions that will be affected by the new measures. Joseph Edlow, Director of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, said asylum decisions are on hold until they can ensure that the alien is vetted and screened to the maximum degree possible. Additionally, the USCIS will re-examine green cards issued to migrants from the 19 affected countries, impacting over 1.6 million permanent residents. Attorney General Pombondi announced that Lankawal will face murder charges and the death penalty. Trump defended the measures, claiming that unvetted access under Biden-era policies allowed Lankawal to enter the U.S., framing the crackdown as necessary to protect national security. INHELD, the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, has raised alarm over the country's struggling mental health system, warning that neglect, economic hardship, and structural barriers are worsening conditions for millions of Nigerians. The association issued a communique at the end of its 56th Annual General and Scientific Meeting in Benin City, highlighting issues such as lack of access to care, high treatment costs, rising substance abuse among youth, and limited awareness of mental health challenges. APN noted that the mental health remains severely underprioritized despite its growing burden, citing World Health Organization data showing that nearly 150 million people across Africa are affected by mental health conditions, while services remain under-resourced and largely inaccessible. The communique called for urgent government action to expand access to evidence-based treatment, integrate mental health care into primary care, and implement social support systems to mitigate the psychological effects of economic stressors. Psychiatrists also urge collaboration across sectors, including partnerships with faith communities and law enforcement to promote awareness, deliver basic mental health training, and combat substance abuse. In business, Nigeria has officially transitioned to a T+2 settlement cycle in its capital market, a move aimed at improving post-trade efficiency, deepening liquidity, and attracting foreign investment. The reform, announced Friday by the Central Securities Clearing System at the NGX Group headquarters in Lagos, in part of the country's broader ambition to grow its economy to $1 trillion by 2030. CSCS Chairman Temi Popular described the reform as more than an operational adjustment, calling it a strategic signal of Nigeria's commitment to efficiency, transparency, and global competitiveness. CSCS Managing Director Haruna Jalu Waziri said the transition reflects months of collaborative preparation across brokers, custodians, banks, exchanges, and regulators to ensure faster, safer, and more predictable market transactions. Securities and Exchange Commission Executive Commissioner Bola Jamali highlighted the regulatory challenges the shift entails, including faster surveillance, dispute resolution, and system stress testing. Officials stressed that T+2 is a stepping stone toward T+1 settlement and real-time trading, aligning Nigeria with global market standards and enhancing investor confidence, critical to achieving the $1 trillion economic target. In sports, NBA Africa has revealed 10 startups from 5 African countries as finalists for the second edition of its Triple-Double Accelerator program. Selected from more than 700 applications, the startups will pitch their products to a panel of international industry experts at Carnegie Mellon University, Africa, in Kigali on December 5th. The finalists include Athlon Technology Egypt, Atsor Nigeria, Collab South Africa, Contestify Nigeria, Fidlan Egypt, Novate Morocco, ProPart Sports Kenya, Reborn Morocco, Scafia Health Kenya, and Songdes Nigeria. 5 winners will receive financial support and join CMU Africa's 12-month business incubation program. NBA Africa CEO Claire Kamanzi said the high quality of application reflects the creativity and talent of young African entrepreneurs, particularly in the sport and creative sectors. Carnegie Mellon University Africa, alongside partners ServiceNow and ALX Ventures, will support the program, which aims to accelerate early-stage startups across the continent. That's all we have for you on Idea TV Media News. News update, I beg your pardon. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV News Updates. But before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. Google pledges 3 billion naira to boost Nigeria's AI talent and digital safety. Drug-Free World Africa unveiled first drug abuse education workbook, charges youths to take action. Nigeria elected into UN Maritime Agency Council, returns after 14 years. NADF launches innovative insurance to boost climate-resilient farming. Zambia launches national strategy to protect children online away from Africa. U.S. freezes asylum decisions after troop shooting. Trump announces migration suspension. In business, Nigeria adopts T+2 settlement cycle to boost economy toward $1 trillion goal. In health, psychiatrists lament mental health neglect, urge urgent action. And in sports, NBA Africa announces finalists for Rwanda Triple-Double Accelerator. Do not forget to follow us across the different social media platforms at Idea TV. I am Chinatu Oji. Thank you for your time.